Well, welcome back to Bears Rod Shop, old BRS. And we're going to start off this video here with the picture again of the wonderful sandcastle that Michelle at Rusty Knox made for Sammy the bride. And we always like to start off with this in our trim shop. Today's going to be a mixed bag. We're going to get over here real quick and we're going to zoom back out here a little bit. We're going to come back to this extraordinary cowboy hat that I've had numerous NHRA and IRHA people sign over the years. And I'm not going to mention, you can read who he is. John Force is going to be on the other side, and Lipnider, Lipkenfield, Lipnider, and but anyhow, today's video is back on the 55 Chevrolet. And in previous videos, we'd already showed this. This was the material that was sewn up and the welting put in. And so we're back on track again. Holiday's always a little confusing. And here we had the one we showed how to do a top stitch. You know, we didn't show any French seams yet. You guys want to request that, we'll show you how to sew up French seams with the double needle machine. Let's get that out of the way. And where we left off was we were on this side patterning of the bottom rear bench seat. Let's get the tripod out of the way. And here is that pattern. Now, I patterned on the left, but to make this a little bit more explanatory, and I hope you can see this. Let's see if we can zoom back out a little bit here. So let's take this pattern, and if I can get back enough, this is the way I pattern. Let's go over a few details, because I'm leaving too many people, well, how do you do this? And, you know, okay, how do you make sure you know what to put on? Let's lay these side by side. You see I have all the marks on them, and that green dot down there, that's where the welting will come all the way down. It will not actually end here. It will dive under, disappear, and I have a tail that'll be like 6 inches long that it gives me a hog ability underneath, out of the way. We just don't want to stop there short, you know, right there. It's going to make a bump in the road. We trim down the welting, which is right over there in that row. Yes, it's ABS plastic welting. For this project, I'm not going to sew up all the welting. Goes around, disappears. Now, you'll see all these marks here, like this is right C and right B, and, you know, right here. That is reason I'm showing all these. I didn't need to do through the trouble to do all the marking, but when I go over there to get my listering cloths that I'm going to hog with, you need to learn how to mark out where they go. You're going to say, well, why don't you just take a piece of straight material and run around? No, it won't lay right. So here, this will tuck under. This will reverse and tuck under. This has to reverse and tuck under. And I've cut all this on patterns. We'll do, this is the right outside bottom seat, we call it a bolster. Goes right there. Just like that. Now we're following this framework plus 3.5 inches. And before I said, well, you know, we're going to make a little curved notch. No, went to the trouble, video's sake, a trimmer, we do funny things, you know. But for a video's sake, let's learn how to do it and follow this, and then pull your material back under. You'll see these slots in this frame throughout. That is where you hog. Now, that's on this particular frame. Yours may be different. It depends on what, 5-star car you're working on, classic or whatever. It may just be a rod, and they didn't care in the old days. You just put the hog up there and you clamped it right to the frame. They didn't care about neatness. Sometimes, especially with Lear that did General Motors, the frames were built different, and there would be a snap piece of plastic that would come around and grab here. You'll see down through here, and you'll get a better gist of all these. I'm going to put my finger across here. They're between 3 to 4 inches. Some of them are 5 inches center to center. That's where it's going to get cleated on a hog ring. It's going to grab it, you're going to come through there. We want to make sure, and I'm going to show you that here on the pattern in a minute, that the material doesn't show here for the hog or the listering. It rolls under a minimum of a 1/2 inch and disappears before we hog this. You don't want to have somebody at a car show and then all of a sudden say, well, man, I see your stitches. No bueno. No bueno for caca. All right, this particular one we talked about is a Buick frame going into a 55. This is a 66, 67 Buick frame, and this all works. It doesn't have the distinct drive tunnel that a 55 Chevrolet have, but it fit in his car, and that's what we're using. So anyhow, that's where we're headed today. Now, let's see if we can lay this out right so you can understand this. So here's this pattern with all my notes on it. I've got to add the 1/4 inch scrim, which we did. It's actually 1/8 inch. I run out of 1/4, and it wouldn't matter. 1/8 inch is fine. For this video's sake, this is for DIY guys, 1/4 inch makes it a little bit fussier to sew and stuff on the seams, but 1/8 inch headliner also is a bargain. You save about 2/3 the money, and you just can't run a piece of 3 inches. So around here, you would have to split it. So instead of splitting it, do it right first time. Just make your deals where everything's going to flap and go underneath, lay over. Going to wonder what this line is right here. All right. Let's take this pattern. I don't guess. I'm coming off of this center, which is right here, and down to the 12 inches. This is where this pattern is starting at 12 inches. You're going to ask me how I use a square, keep everything going real quick. Let me give you a little cheater advice. Nobody can put down a framing square or a big old square. Go to your closet, grab you out an old 3.5 inch floppy. I ain't going to tell you what was on that. Might not be good. But use that as a square. Or a dime a dozen. You can go to any garage sale. You can find these things. I got tons of them. They're obsolete. You can carry these around the machine shop, the carpenter shop, whatever. Now you got a square that's easy to handle. No fuss, no mess. Let's throw this out of the way. All right. So I laid this out, and we're going to get to this listering here in just a minute. I'm not going to go too fast. So now we have seen that the frame, we got our seam allowance up here, already laid out on this template. You'll see the seam allowance, and then I got a 1/2 inch. I'm doing that because we got welting going in this one, not 3/8. And I drew out, for just video's sake, a side end view of the frame, and which is 3/8 return, like a little angle. And of course, from out here to here is 1.25 inches. And every one of the hogs is between 3 to 4 to 5 inches. So that means that I have got to end up with a finish here of about 1 3/4. So make this flap a minimum of 2. You'll see here. Let's get the ruler. It ain't gonna hurt. This is a little bit, could be a little bit longer video. All right, up here at the top, I've got my 1/2 inch seam allowance, and I come all the way down to here, and then I've got +2, but I want to be back a 1/2 inch. So I cheated 1/4, so back 1/4. There's my 1/2 inch. That way I'm not sewing right on that edge. Did set the stitch length short because this is the finish. It needs to be tight. Now this one here, we're going to go over to, let's see, can we zoom out a little bit? No. All right. I took time to take an old piece of side bolster off a bucket seat that was laying there in the trim shop to show you different methods for DIY. Now, trimmers, we all like this right here because then we run this rod through like this. Let's go to the other end. Most of the old classic cars, way back 50s, 60s, had a corrugated wire. You would fold over, you would hem down, you'd use this, and then your hogs would bite that corrugated. I mean, these guys are stiff. All right, you're going to see a plain Jane wire right here. Where do you find them? Go to any local Lowe's, Home Depot, any Ace or whatever. These are the rods that you can buy in 8-foot lengths to hold up, ceiling grids with. Yes, they're stiff as a board. I mean, literally, they work great. We're talking about the wires that are in every one of your Walmarts, your stores you walk in for drop ceilings. That's the wire. Oh, let's don't poke a hole in that yet. I prefer the listering with the wire. And, another way, if you have excess welting cord, I chose red for video, just as a deal. This gives a good, let's stop this minute, real quick. Let's get out the hog ring and the pliers. All right, standard, of course, these are 45-degree angle hog ring pliers, a very good quality ones. You can see we got a hog in there, and, it's going to bite there. It's going to do the same thing everywhere. Let's smash this thing real quick. And one-handed on the camera. All right, throw them out of the way. Now you got a good, instead of just putting it through the material, now you got something to really bite onto that's not going to come out. It's sewn down well. And, yes, I did change this to a shorter stitch because I knew it was going to be final. This is a shorter stitch here, and it's not the 1/4. This is 3/16. But you're going to kind of get a different way that Bear's Rod Shop is trying to teach DIY guys how I use it. It's also the economy is really playing havoc. I mean, the welting cord there that's sitting there and it's on this seat. When I bought this material, it was like 50 cents, $1.50 a yard. Now it's $3.90 a yard, 36-inch links. It's phenomenal what this economy has done to us, and I'm going to be real careful I don't lose my temper over this economy. All right. This, like I say, is the cloth on the table. I've used this cloth here. One of my fellow trimmers give me bukus of yardage of it. It works really well. And same as the listering. And this pulls underneath. When I pull this underneath, I fold it and I grab it with a piece of vinyl square, like a 1x1. And it's the one that's going to hog right underneath here. Right through here. You know, there's no really pull, stretch. It's just to hold it and grab it in place, make a tight cover. Let's look down here at the front bench seat. Now, whole different scenario, completely. It's the driver's front, and here, the material comes around and just hogs in these simple loops. Now, all this will have, quarter, 1/8 to a 1/4 scrim on it. It comes around. There's no need to try to chase a wire around that. And same thing here. When we come across the front, you're looking at the rear of the seat. When that cover comes underneath and comes around, it's going to hog to each one of them eyelets. Now, you want to do your best to make sure that hogs real well. If you're afraid about it, tearing out, by all means, you could put listering. I tell you what, it's not worth putting a rod in there unless you come around and grabbed all them springs, but that's not the way they're designed to hog. Most of the tension, let's see if we can flip this over. Sorry about the racket, but once that is tied in there, it comes in, and you can see that wire that's running through there. It holds all them springs. Then I end up with another wire that's right down in here, and grabbing it. And then normally this would have whatever carpet you had. We're not for sure if Mr. Melville is going to change carpet. Right now it's all black, but we plan on running the material up and over with 1/4-inch scrim on it, and all that being padded. But it will have to come all the way over the top and grab underneath here and hog under here. Well, this is probably not making much sense since I'm upside down, but yeah. And of course, right in here, these are called bumpers for the seat. You got a bumper here. This is where the solo seats set down on top. Let's see, we're to the back one back there, and just have to start learning, where to measure, how to make short templates. You wouldn't want to make the thing all the way across, so I made a 12-inch template for the end, which is right here. Yes, see where I lined up, and here, and then now I know where to end up putting not only my hog, but the rest of it. All right, hoping that's a little short video today. If it hasn't been too long and drug out, will be help to those that are watching. And we'll go on. We'll sew some more sewing. I'm not trying to teach you guys how to sew, by all means. It'll come natural. I did have a nice comment from a young man. I should have wrote his name down, that his great-grandfather, was a singer. And his great-great-grandmother was great grandmother was an upholsterer and seamstress back when the Singers Company started. If you're listening to me, a thumbs up. Thanks for that comment. You guys, anybody's got family members, whether it be Adler, Conso, Fath, anybody that's got relatives of family members from ancient years back, not ancient, but, in their past that were involved with sewing and stuff, we'd appreciate it. I always love history. And again, go to the time to make patterns. This is the right. Go to the left, same thing. Transfer your notes as best you can, and make sure you allow your seam allowance where you use half or 3/8. This particular project needs half. And one last look here. Mr. Don Garlit is now turned 90, born in 1932. And if you follow him, as I do, he's going to go back on tour. I don't know which desert rail job he's going to take, but by all means, check out Don Garlit. I'm going to put that in the comments as well and a link to him and put his name in there for sure. We know him personally. Our years in Ohio and in the NHRA, Mr. Garlit is one of the finest gentlemen you'll ever meet. And I'm only fixing to be 70. I can't imagine at 90 pushing the clutch in on one of those rail jobs again. But Mr. Garlit, hats off to you. And I hope my viewers that do follow him will please give him a comment. Yep, we got this cowboy hat's not going to go nowhere. The tide boat that's up there, and of course here is Lip Nighter. I don't ever pronounce his name right. We had his posters, and John Lipnighter right there. That signature, we lost him in a bad wreck. Oh man, it's been too long. John Force is on here somewhere, but you guys that are involved with, drag racing, please give old Don Garlit, let's turn him back around and face us, a shout out. Visit his wonderful museum there in Ocala, Florida. And I tell you what, you'll never, ever see so much history as in that one. Sammy, we hope you're doing well. And this is going to be it for the 28th of November. I'm going to get busy, and so come back to the 55 Chevrolet. Maybe a week or two before I get any more videos out, but hope this has helped. And please give us a thumbs up and a subscription and notifications if you would, and come back to Bear's Rod Shop often. We're out of here.